Welcome to practice. We're going to begin seated, and you can choose either kneeling or with your feet out in front of you, and sit your bottom up onto a blanket if your feet are out in front. And if you're kneeling, just make enough support under your sit bone so that your knees are really comfortable. And good test for should you be kneeling is if it hurts your knees, don't do it. Not quite ready, or you need higher support. And we're just going to lift the spine. Taking some deep breaths. And let your neck become more and more relaxed at the top of the spine. As you use the muscles of your core body more and more to support the shape of your spine. To start directing your muscular action into sitting up, lower and lower in your body. So that your shoulders are relaxed and your neck is relaxed. And make little circles with your head. The top of the head, drawing a halo. Just a little circle, feeling the action of your neck, the joints between the bones, your neck spine. And then the other direction. Depending on where you are in your day doing this practice, there might be some stiffness. Maybe it just feels really nice to move your neck in this thoughtful way. Good, and then centering. Again, we're going to do some shoulder rolls as well. So lifting the shoulders up and taking them back. Up and back. And all of these movements, you can feel whether it just feels best for your body to do a gentle, a small movement, or an exaggerated big movement, and then the other direction. So being curious. Mm-hmm. Lovely. And we're going to lean over to the right side. Just put your right hand down on the floor. Take your left arm by your left ear. Yours will look a bit straighter than mine. But reach it out so that you start to stretch the left side of your body. Good. And then we'll come up and go to the other side. Really use it as an opportunity to explore reaching and lengthening, opening up the rib cage. Go again, both sides. Great. And then come back up to center. Now, we're going to do that again, but we're not going to use a hand on the floor to support. And actually, because I've got to use one arm to help the other, you're going to hold your left wrist with your right hand, and then we're going to reach over to the right side and use your right hand to help draw more length into your left arm, left shoulder, left ribs. And we're using the core of the body to stabilize. And then we lift up, feeling really strong and supported in the core body. Good, and go to the other side. So hold your right wrist with your left hand. Stabilizing with your core body, shining your heart up and out. And one more each side. Good. Lovely. And then releasing. Nice. Some shoulder rolls again. for my benefit as much as. Great. Now from your seated position, we're going to bring the feet into a squatting position. But so you can sit up onto your blanket and you can hold your elbows in front of your knees or your hands in front of your knees and ease the bones of the spine forward. Good. And then we're going to try and wave the spine forward and back a little. You might have to lean back a little to get some movement, but try and wave as far forward as you can. And then there's an opposite direction, but still try to bring the bones of your spine as far forward as you can. Nice work. All right, from where you are, in your squatting position, we're going to try for the kneeling to squatting movement. Now, if you can't do that because of your knees, what I want you to practice is imagine you could get your bottom up off the floor from here. So you're pressing your heels down, and even if it doesn't lift up, feel the core work of trying to lift. And from here, see if you can even push yourself forward gently, and then coming into a kneeling position where your toes are tucked under. So I'll do this from the side. So working on from your supported squatting position where your sit bones are on the blanket, and just trying to lift your hips a little off that blanket. And if you can, leaning forward and helping yourself into a kneeling position. You can use your hands, however that's useful. Nice work. And then we're going to come up to standing. So however you need to move from your supported squatting to standing. You don't need your blanket. And coming into Tadasana. Now I'm going to go sideways again so you can see. We're going to make a halfway forward bend. And that action of waving your spine again. So make sure your hands are high enough on your legs so you can find the movement of your spine all the way where the spine joins the pelvis. And also feeling that movement at the top of the spine, at the skull. Good, there's an opposite movement to this. You're getting the bones to move as a little or a lot. Feels good. Okay, we're going to hold our forward bend now and keep pressing the bones of your spine forward. So we try to find the valley shape in the back. And then hands where they make sense to start to straighten your legs and feel your hamstrings stretching. You can do one at a time, but if you're doing one at a time, don't go so fast that you're not really getting into the stretch or giving the stretch time to work. So slow it down and nice deep breath. Great. And then from here, bones of the spine pressing forward, we're going to squat, keep the heels on the floor, bend the knees, and you bring your sit bones as close to your heels as you can. So your knees can go wherever it's comfortable for them, but we keep the heels down. And then we're going to lift up, keep the knees bent, and lift the torso into Utkatasana. And arms are going to go as straight as you can by your ears. lift the breastbone, bring the bones of the spine forward. So we're in our chair pose, or I think the better word is powerful pose. So feel that lift of the core body as you support your spine. Good. We'll bring the torso forward again into the forward bend, just where it feels good for you, where you can feel that you're relaxed in the skin of your lower back. The bones are pressing forward and you're stretching your legs. Uttanasana. And then from here, bend the knees, roll up, take your arms up by your ears. Urdhva Hastasana. And then Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. We're going to repeat that sequence. Uttanasana. Good. Squatting as low as your knees need to go, and you can turn your toes out if that feels better for your knees. Keep your heels on the floor. You can bring your hands in front of your heart, lifting your breastbone, pressing the bones of the spine forward. Feel the flow of your breath. Good. Keep the heels down. We lift the torso, but keep the knees bent. So bring the legs back to parallel. Lift the torso up, lift the chest up, and bring the arms up by the ears. Utkatasana, powerful pose. You can dip your hips as low as you're comfortable with, but keep lifting the pelvic floor and the belly. Good. And then Uttanasana again, standing forward, bend, pressing the bones of the spine forward. And then straightening all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. And Tadasana. One more sequence like that. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Standing forward bend. You're going to squat as close to Malasana as your knees allow. You can turn your toes out if that feels better. Keep your heels down, hands at the heart, lifting the breastbone. Good. Bring your feet back to parallel. Lift your torso, but keep the knees fairly bent. Lift the torso, lift the chest all the way up, arms up by the ears. Utkatasana. And then all the way into standing forward bend. Uttanasana. And all the way up, arms up. Urdhva Hastasana and Tadasana. Nice work. We're going to turn to the long edge of the mat. Tadasana. Step your right foot out so it's 90 degrees from your front body or parallel to the long edges of your mat. Good. And we're going to practice that transfer of weight. So if you look down, you've probably got or try to have your right heel lined up with the center of your left foot in the arm. It's not a huge distance. We're just transferring weight from foot to foot. When you're back in your left foot, lift right up onto the heel of your right foot. You can even lift up onto the tiptoes of your left foot when you're in your right foot. So try to get the weight shifting. Good. And then we're going to turn the feet around. So we do that same thing, but to the second side. Get your weight shifting and your feet moving. Great. And then turn your feet back to the front. Step your feet out your own leg length distance, so wider this time. Right foot turns out at 90 degrees, and this time for Trikonasana, we're going to have the feeling of both feet connected to the floor. Notice how stable that is. Good. And strong legs. Lift the kneecaps. We're going to take the hands at the hips. Roll the left hip back as you reach your torso to the right side. So the right ribs are lengthening. The left ribs are rolling back. The left shoulder is rolling back. Good. And then we're going to lift up. We're going to go to the second side. So we're just doing legs here for a moment. Roll the right hip back. Reach the left ribs over the left leg. Roll the right ribs back, the right shoulder back. Nice work. Come up. Turn the feet back to the first side. So right foot turns out. Feel your stability. Good, strong legs. And this time we're going to do it with the arms up by the ears. Roll your left hip back and bending deeply your right hip crease. Really fold it into your body. And we're going to reach the torso over to the right side. Notice how the torso wants to lean down and face the ground. See if you can lift your left ribs. And breathing. Feel your core body stabilizing support for your spine. Good, and then we'll come up. Keep your arms up. Turn the feet to the second side. Good, we're going to roll back the right hip, lengthening the left ribs and tuck in that left hip crease. Just let it really deepen as you lengthen. Rolling the right ribs back, shining the heart up. Stabilizing with your core body. Beautiful. And coming back up. Nice work. Turn the feet back to the first side, and this time our full Trikonasana. Take your arms out from your shoulders. Reach your right arm down onto your right leg and your left arm up. I can only go as far as my left hip rolls back. Left ribs roll back. Lengthening the sideways. Turning to look up at the ceiling. Keep lengthening both sides of the waist. Feel how stable the feet are holding you, your strong legs. Beautiful. Coming up. And then we turn around to our last side for Trikonasana. Take your arms out from your shoulders, reaching your left arm out this time. Take the right hip back. Remember, it wants to roll forward, opening the heart towards the ceiling. Take your arm up to the ceiling. We've built a beautiful, stable pose from the feet, through the strong legs, the strong core, and let the heart open. Enjoying the satisfying breath. And inhale and come up. Beautiful. Turn the feet to the long edge of the mat, or the toes to the long edge of the mat. We're going to wiggle the heels out a little bit. Hands in front of your hips and lifting your belly, lifting the chest and reaching your torso forward. So your hands can be on the floor under your chest. They might be on your legs. But again, find the stability of your feet, their wisdom, the strength in your legs as you lift your kneecaps, and the hamstrings and the sit bones, and then lengthen your spine to where it feels good. You can take your arms straight out in front. Good. And then bringing your arms back in. And you can jump or stamp or tiptoe yourself back to Tadasana. So these nice stamping movements are for strong bone. And the light movements, really, you're using your core body to make that lightness. And it's a little bit like when we do our balancing walking. So we're going to do that from side to side now. So if you stand on your left foot and you're going to lift up your right leg as high as you can. So it's bend, you're going to lift as high as you can. And when you put it back down, not falling back into position, but rather find that hip width parallel feet position with just the skin of your right foot and then shifting weight. We're going to do that from side to side. Nice, feeling your balance. Keeping your neck relaxed. Feeling the flow of your breath and this ability to be balanced as one. Nice work. Tadasana with the feet under the hips. So stable. Great. Step your feet out, not your leg length, but a little bit wider than your hip. Turn your right foot out at 90 degrees. So that way we were shifting the weight. We're going to do that again. But we're going to do it to try and balance on your right foot, and your left foot's going to come up off the floor. So this is our half moon preparation, or Ardha Chandrasana. And see how you go, finding balance on your right foot. Now, we tend to turn the torso to look at the foot we're balancing on. But I want you to try and keep your torso facing the long edge of the mat. We're not really using our visual sense balance, so feeling that moment when you're really on your right foot, you can lift your left foot. Okay, now if you have that, you're going to hold it. And if you need to put your left foot back down, tiptoes can touch the floor. Great. But what we want to work on is rolling back the left hip, opening the heart center. You can take your arms straight out from your shoulders. So anytime you need to land again, do that. Good. And you might be able to keep tipping the torso and lifting the leg till you're parallel to the floor. Lovely. Whoa. I definitely fell back into position, falling back to earth. But if you can, we're going to try and land in that more considered way. All right, we'll do the second side. So the left foot turns out. And we consider the energy that it takes to balance over the left leg. Good. So you might have your right tiptoes onto the floor, or you might have your foot off the floor, but we want to roll back the right hip. Good. And you can take your arms straight out from your shoulders so the chest is open. Exploring your breath, your balance, the resilience of being able to land safely. Lovely. Come back to your center. There's so much going on in that pose. So well done. Just in your Tadasana, see if you can feel that energy in your body. But also your feet grounded. The length of the spine. The ease of your neck. And the satisfying breath. Great work. All right. One more standing pose. Jump or stamp or tiptoe or wiggle your feet out to a little bit wider than your leg length. You need that extra little bit of width. Take your right foot out at 90 degrees. And your right heel is going to intersect the center of your left foot, inner arch. And we'll bend the right knee. Lifting the belly, lifting the pelvic floor, the sides of your waist. And take your arms out from your shoulder. Good. We're going to reach the torso over the right leg and the right elbow onto the right knee. You could take your left hand onto your hip and roll the left hip back, the left ribs back, and see if you can look back over your left shoulder. And here we get to find how far the knee will bend, the hips will lower. And with that lowering of the hips, we want to really feel the internal support. So lifting the pelvic floor. Good. And if your shoulder's fine with this action, you can take the arm by the left ear as much in line with your ribs as you're able to. Feel that internal muscular support of the core body. Lovely. We're going to come up. Ha ha ha. And turn the feet to the second side. Bending your left knee. And we're going to take the left elbow down onto the left knee. Rolling the right hip back, the right ribs back. Look back over your right shoulder. Feel your feet. Their wisdom, their understanding of the floor. Rolling the whole right side of the body back. And if it feels okay for your shoulder, take your right arm by your right ear. And here's where we get to explore lowering the hips, lifting the pelvic floor, the belly. Tuning into the satisfying breath. And lifting up. Let's do one more forward bend with the wide-legged position. Toes in, heels out. Hands at the hip crease, just to remind you of lengthening that part of the body as you make a back bend, pressing the bones of your spine forward. And then at the hip crease, we fold that crease back deeply, lengthening the belly. Forward, the chest forward. Really pressing down the outside edges of the feet, really lifting the inner arches of the feet, the inner ankle bones, the knees, and breathing. Take your head where it makes sense. You can reach your arms out in front. You might take your head towards the line of the feet, or just keep looking forward and the bones of the spine pressing forward. Connecting to your satisfying breath and the stretch of your legs and the understanding of the feet. Beautiful. I'm going to jump my feet together from here into a squat and then sit down, but think about how you might move out of this posture. Might take a few other little movements to help you land safely. Not elegantly. We're going to sit onto a blanket. I never really realized it until I was just using that word, understanding. What a wise word for what we do with our feet every time we're using them. But in our seated poses, we're using the understanding of our sit bones. So make sure you're on your sit bones. You can feel that the pelvis tilts forward when you sit on your sit bones. If you're on your tailbone, coccyx, the pelvis tilts back. And the organs, especially of the belly, are squashed. So we try to roll onto the front of the sit bones. Feel that the organs are spacious. Enjoying each breath. Little circles with the whole spine, and it's like you're drawing yourself a halo with your whole spine. And just noticing as you start to shift your center around those sit bones, the muscles of the core body, and we're shifting front core, back core, side. So the understanding here rises from the sit bones to the core body. And then the other direction. To really emphasize the work of the side core, we're going to lean over to the right side. Now, you can make this stronger by taking your arms by your ears, straight out, so your arms are parallel. I can't show you that. Good. And then what we're going to do is just draw a circle with its fingertips, but we're going to follow with the whole spine. So now you really feel the left core of the body having to stabilize. So it's up to you how large or small that movement is, how far you're reaching, but follow the breath and feel that understanding growing. Other direction. Lovely. And come back to center. Let's just sit for a moment. Good, and then swapping the cross of the leg. I forgot to say that you could have your legs straight out if this is an uncomfortable position for your knees or hips. Okay, we're going to lean over to the left side now. Same thing. Arms by the ears will make this stronger, so you could do it with your hands just resting on your legs. Otherwise, we take the arms as parallel as you can, and then we're stabilizing the core body, and then we're drawing a little circle or a big circle. But really, do try to pay attention to how that feels in the core body. So drawing the circle, letting the whole spine become part of that. And we're finding the right core body. And the other direction. And coming back to center. Very nice. We're going to take a laying down position, and the blanket is going to be underneath the hips. Ah. And then just let your back relax into this shape. You can keep your legs bent, feet hip width parallel, or you can put your legs out straight. Do the one that just feels good for you in this moment. And your arms, however that might feel good, and that could be cactus arms, elbows straight out from your shoulders, backs of the hands towards the floor. Or even just rest your hands on your belly. As we let the lower back relax. Bend the legs in if you had straight legs and take the blanket out. And this time, a little more active in that range of movement. We're going to put the arms down beside the torso, palms facing down. Feet are hip width parallel, legs are bent. Lift your tailbone, just the tailbone, off the floor. Notice when you do that how the belly becomes hollow, the lower back lengthens and presses. And then we're going to put the tailbone back towards the floor. We're just doing that part of the movement. It's really the pelvis, and you'll feel the big effect in the joints between the pelvis and the lower spine. So working on the side core of the body can be aggravating for the lower back because it tends to be the weakest part of that chain of events in the body. We'll just make sure that the back is really relaxed here. Let's try lifting a little bit more than just the tailbone. So lifting the pelvis off the floor and go nice and slow and feel the effect in your spine. You can lift right up onto your shoulders and then bone by bone back down to the floor. We're going to do a couple more of those in a way that feels nourishing to you, with an understanding of the bones of the spine lifting away from the floor and presenting back to the floor. Last one. Great. And then for through the whole pose, left heel on the right knee. This might be enough. You can keep your right foot on the floor. You can press gently your left knee away from the chest, or you can lift the right foot off the floor and hold your knee and your foot as close to your chest as you can. Letting your body stretch where it needs to. Feeling the satisfaction of your breath. Of the work well done in your body. And the other side. So right heel, left knee. You can do this with the left foot staying on the floor or bringing in your left knee and your foot as close to your chest as you can. Taking as much movement as feels nourishing. Good, and then releasing. Hug your knees into your chest, rock a little bit from side to side. And we're going to roll over to the right side. And come up to sitting. Hands in front of your heart. Take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.